Hey everyone, it's Rylan. It is Thursday, July 20th, 2017 at 1:06 p.m. And yesterday I saw Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway with the one and only Ben motherfucking Platt. So, true story, I saw the evening performance at 8 p.m. and my life changed. And I came home and I tried making a video for YouTube. The first one was 9 minutes, and I was basically talking in circles, and I was like, nobody's gonna watch this. So then I did take 2. 9 minutes in again, I was like, no one's gonna watch this, you're rambling. Then I was like, I just need to make a video for myself to try and understand unpack this for myself in not such a presentational way. And I just wasn't able to talk about it. I was so overwhelmed with the genius and brilliance that I saw displayed by Ben Platt that I just don't have words. You could say that words fail. I don't know that this is going to be any more articulate, but I'm going to try. So basically, in a nutshell, Ben Platt's performance in Dear Evan Hansen was the craziest, most amazing thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. No shit, he won the Tony. If he didn't, then I give up on being an actor because the world is wrong. But it was just literally the words that automatically come to mind are inhuman, alien, 3D specific, manic, roller coaster. It was just absolutely astounding. I think above all, there are specific moments, his mannerisms were just incredible to watch. The biting the nails, the touching the t-shirt, the pulling the t-shirt down, the big sweeping hand gestures and stuff like that, and the gesticulations with the hands, and all of this very specific work to create this very anxious character was amazing. But personally, as an actor, what I was absolutely blown away and honestly confused about was every scene that he would walk into, and he's basically on stage the entire show with the exception of maybe 2 scenes and 2 songs. Even if it was a quick, he walks off stage and then walks back on stage, it was amazing to see how his anxiety and his mannerisms and the way that he spoke and the speed in which he spoke would change in a second depending on who he was interacting with. The way he interacted with his mom was so much more different than he would act with people at school, than he would act with Zoe, than he would act with the family. And it was just really fucking nuts. It was watching, honestly, I remember thinking it was watching an edited film put together because of the range of his emotions were in such different places each time he was on stage. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand how anyone, number one, can do that, but especially someone who's 23 years old is able to perfect a performance that is such a real person. And I also remember thinking at the very beginning of the musical that this kid is so awkward that I could see being in school with him and not wanting to be friends with him because he was so anxious and so contained. And I saw this musical twice online. I saw it on stagedork.com and I watched it 2 separate times. So I was familiar with the story. I knew what was going to happen. I know the soundtrack. I know the songs. But there were still moments that just had me just frozen and completely taken off guard. Specifically one of the moments that was amazing because it's not really clear on the recording, they don't get a close-up, and I was sitting in the 4th row so I could literally see everything. When he the first day he's back at school and he's printing off the letter in the computer lab, and his mom calls him and she's like, "Oh, I hope your day was great." And he's like literally standing there like trying to keep it together with tears in his eyes while like lying to his mom and saying like, "Today was great, like I made a lot of friends." And like I couldn't see that on the recording, the bootleg recording. And it was just incredible because I was really lucky. I was sitting stage right, and a lot of his work was done at stage right, so I was really able to see a lot of him. And like, I'll be honest, like I really wasn't paying attention to the other actors. Like they were just like accessories around him. Like because I was familiar with the story, I knew when big moments were coming, and I was just looking to see his reactions. And honestly, I was just like zeroed in on him for like the entire show. Words Fail was one of the most astounding things I think I've ever seen in my life. To be in that delicate of a place, to be crying, to be singing, to be hunched over, and to be able to barely speak, let alone sing incredibly, was just like incredible. And it really was the combination of being able to sing in the way that he does in such an emotional song and have all this emotion and the words, but then like the physicalness of to be bent over and crying, which I know why he does that. He is bent over so he can get more air, but it was just fucking crazy, dude. Like, I don't know. I'm still confused as to how that's possible. But I'm really inspired. I mean, as I mentioned a couple times, and for anyone that actually like watches my videos, like you guys know that I live in New York and that I am an actor. And actually this show has had like a profound effect on my career, because when I originally saw the, crappy quality version of this online, I was so blown away by his performance that I went to college for my BFA in musical theater, and I just completed my training at the Atlantic Theater Company acting school in New York in December. And once I was finished with school, I really needed to focus on my mental health, so I figured I would wait until like May or something at the earliest to like get back into auditioning and kind of just dip my toes in it and see how it would go. But after I saw that performance online, I started taking singing lessons, and I've been working consistently. I have a meeting with a manager in August, and I just feel like if I wouldn't have seen Ben do that show and, do all the research that I did on him and watch almost every interview that I could find, I don't think I would be I am at this moment in my life and be where I am as far as like sending stuff out to agents and subsequently like booking gigs, because I was so inspired by him, because I was like, this is why I'm an actor, this is what I want to do. And like everything was just surpassed by that like really crappy recording of what that is. To be able to see everything in flash and to just hear how his voice just literally fills the entire space of the theater. Like, it was crazy. It was almost like the theater was too small to contain it when he got into that very specific pocket of his voice where he has those very powerful notes of belting and vibrato. Like, it was like the house couldn't handle him. So, like, I honestly owe, like, the success that I've had in the past months to being so inspired by Ben. And like, I hope and pray to God that somehow God puts me in an opportunity that I'll be able to meet him and thank him for what he did for me. Because, I'm in the very beginning of forming connections and relationships with people in New York and getting my work out there and people starting to pay attention to me. And I just feel like had I have not seen or discovered Dear Evan Hansen, then that process would have been delayed. And I don't think I would be where I am today if it wasn't for that show. So The fact that I got to see him was crazy because he called out for the matinee. Um, like 3 understudies were playing Evan, Colton, and Heidi. So like the whole cast was just like jumbled up. So I feel really great. I'm still kind of in shock, but I just needed to share my experiences because art has the power to change the world. And I think everyone in that theater was affected. And I'm so amazed that as someone that like was sick and didn't do a show was still able to pull off such an amazing full-bodied performance. It just proves what a professional he is. And I hope to have that work ethic someday. Yeah. That's all I'll say.